At just past midnight on April 5, 2026, day 37 of Operation Epic Fury, President Trump posted 4 words that ended a 48-hour crisis. "We got him." The weapons systems officer of an F-15E Strike Eagle that had been shot down over southwestern Iran on April 3rd was out of enemy territory, seriously wounded, but safe. According to officials cited by Air and Space Forces magazine, all American forces involved in the operation were also out of Iran. What preceded those 4 words, the shoot-down, the failed first rescue attempt that left helicopters damaged and crew members wounded, 48 hours of solo evasion through some of the most unforgiving terrain in the Middle East, a CIA deception operation, a fierce nighttime firefight, unmanned aircraft deliberately destroyed to prevent Iran from claiming them, is a sequence that belongs in the record alongside the most significant combat search and rescue operations in American military history. The F-15E belonged to the 494th Fighter Squadron of the 48th Fighter Wing, based at RAF Lakenheath in England, a unit that had been conducting deep strike missions over Iran since the opening days of Epic Fury. According to NBC News and SOF News, citing officials, both crew members ejected safely when the aircraft went down over Chaharmahal and Bakhtiari province in southwestern Iran. They landed separately. Parachutes drifting apart at altitude over rugged terrain means landing zones can be miles apart. The pilot made radio contact quickly. The weapons systems officer, the WSO, they also signaled that he was on the ground and evading. The IRGC began its search immediately. Iran's semi-official media reported that a regional governor offered a bounty for the crew. The first rescue attempt for the pilot was already under fire before it completed. The pilot was recovered within hours of the shoot-down. According to Air and Space Forces magazine, one of the 2 HH-60W Jolly Green II helicopters of the Personal Recovery Task Force was struck by ground fire during that operation, wounding crew members aboard, though the helicopter flew out of Iran with the pilot. An A-10 Thunderbolt II providing close air support to the pilot's rescue was also struck by hostile fire. According to military.com, that A-10 pilot flew the damaged aircraft out of Iranian airspace before ejecting and was subsequently recovered. The first rescue confirmed the WSO's situation. He had signaled he was alive and evading, but conditions on the ground were hot enough that combat search and rescue teams could not safely reach him that day. The rescue package withdrew. The WSO was on his own. For approximately 48 hours, a senior colonel, the WSO, evaded the IRGC, Basij militia units, and armed tribesmen in terrain that was working both for and against him. The Zagros Mountains in that province are steep, rocky, and cut through with ridgelines that provide concealment but punish movement. According to Axios, the WSO was wounded after ejecting but could still walk. He was using his Combat Survivor Evader Locator radio, a device designed to send short encrypted data bursts via satellite without broadcasting a continuous signal that enemy direction-finding equipment could triangulate. According to a senior Trump administration official cited by NBC News, CIA capabilities were used continuously to track his location throughout those 48 hours, feeding real-time information to planners who were already designing the second rescue. Before the second rescue could launch, the CIA executed what a senior administration official described to NBC News as a deception campaign, spreading information inside Iran that U.S. forces had already located the airmen and were moving him on the ground toward a coastal maritime extraction in southern Iran. The operation was designed to redirect Iranian search units away from the actual location. According to the official statement, while Iranian forces were confused and uncertain, the agency used its unique, exquisite capabilities to search for and find the American, describing it as the ultimate needle in a haystack. But in this case, a brave American soul inside a mountain crevice, invisible but for CIA's capabilities. Once the WSO's location was confirmed, the CIA immediately alerted the Defense Department, Trump ordered the rescue mission. The planning window was short. The execution had to be precise. Subscribe. We build these equations every week. According to SOF news analysis of open source tracking and official reporting, the rescue package inserted late on April 4th local time. We done 2 MC-130J, Commando, 2 transports and 4 MH-6 Little Bird helicopters from the 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers, were part of the force. 1 MH-6 flew directly to the ridge where the WSO was concealed and brought him back to an ad hoc landing strip where the ground force was staged. MQ-9 Reaper drones provided continuous overwatch throughout, with Air and Space Forces magazine confirming that Reapers struck Iranian military-aged males believed to be a threat when they got within 3 kilometers of the airmen's position. According to a U.S. official cited by Military Times, the operation involved dozens of aircraft. Israel provided assistance. Fox News, reporting that Israeli forces shared intelligence and helped halt Iranian airstrikes in the area during the 36-hour operation, with Israeli officials confirming participation. The extraction did not go cleanly. According to SOF news analysis citing social media tracking and official reporting, at least 2 MC-130J aircraft became bogged in soft ground at the austere landing strip, wheels sinking with Iranian forces closing on the position. The decision was made to rig demolition charges and destroy the aircraft in place rather than leave them for Iran to exploit as propaganda. Thick smoke from the burning transports rose as the ground force transferred to replacement aircraft, reportedly AFSOC platforms, and extracted the entire force, including the wounded WSO. Iran's armed forces subsequently claimed to have destroyed 2 Black Hawk helicopters and 1 C-130 during the operation. U.S. officials confirmed no Americans were killed. The WSO was seriously wounded, but expected to recover fully. Military.com noted that the shoot-down of the F-15E marked the first time U.S. aircraft had been downed by enemy fire in over 20 years, since an A-10 was shot down during the 2003 Iraq invasion. Within that context, the rescue of both crew members from deep inside Iranian territory, one within hours, one after 48 hours of solo evasion, represents an outcome that the IRGC was actively working to prevent. Iran committed significant resources, IRGC units, Basij militia, armed tribesmen, and a public bounty. The CIA ran a deception operation to redirect those resources. The Night Stalkers inserted under fire. MQ-9s eliminated ground threats within 3 kilometers of the Airmen. MC-130Js were destroyed to deny Iran a propaganda win, and both Americans came home. Trump described it as the first time in military memory that 2 pilots were rescued separately from deep enemy territory. The honest assessment is that the operation also revealed the cost of penetrating defended Iranian airspace at this stage of the campaign. An F-15E lost, helicopters damaged in the first rescue, an A-10 pilot forced to eject, and aircraft destroyed on Iranian soil. Success measured in personnel recovered, not equipment preserved, what the shoot-down tells us about Iran's remaining air defense capability, which weapon system likely brought down an aircraft that the 494th Fighter Squadron has been flying over Iran for 5 weeks, and what the rescue operation's scale signals about CENTCOM's commitment to personnel recovery, even at significant operational cost. That breakdown requires its own full analysis. Both airmen are out of Iran. The war is in its 6th week. 3,000 targets reportedly remain on the strike list, and the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. What weapon system brought down the F-15E, and what that tells us about Iran's remaining air defense capability after 37 days of strikes? That breakdown is already on this channel. This video is based on publicly available reports and analysis. Some details may be subject to change.